Good afternoon, Neeraj here. We assemble over here to discuss something about research methodology, the subject with which we are concerned. And today we will discuss about the research process. Whenever we talk about the research process, then something, steps like procedure comes in our mind. These steps are nothing but collection of certain activities, and we have to design and implement those activities in order to realize the intended research objectives, whatever objectives might be. If we talk about the research process, then this comprises the whole research syllabus. As we can better look at board the 5 distinctive steps, these are mentioned in a very systematic fashion. As we look at the first step, defining research problem, we start our research journey from this step. Next one is planning research design. Third one is data collection. Fourth one is data processing and analysis. And last but not least is presentation of findings, that is research report. So today we will try our best to cover something about every step. First one is defining research problem. This, at the outset of any research project, we will have to be very clear about the research project which we are going to undertake. Here we have to understand and define the research project. Now we talk about understanding the research project. Any research project related to any subject area we may take, and at the very starting we try to understand in a very comprehensive and substantial manner. Here we want to understand the research problem as far as possible, and for the purpose we have to explore new facts, new data from every corner, from every possible source. So we have to be flexible in order to get information, requisite information from any possible source related to the research problem what we have undertaken. Now, for the purpose, we may consult with the experts, we may consult with our peers, we may consult with our superiors or guides. Those might be expert in the intended field of research which we are going to undertake for the study, for the research purpose. After experience survey, we hope that we will get adequate knowledge. And afterward, we may also consult some literature related to the research project undertaken. Literature might be of 2 types, conceptual literature and empirical literature. Conceptual literature related with theories. You may find such type of conceptual literature in books, in magazine, journal, newspaper, or any other viable source. As far as empirical literature is concerned, this is related with real life experience, and it is related with the research project which could be undertaken earlier and got certain results. These these researches definitely have to be related with the research which, as the researcher, we have undertaken. So after consulting these type of literatures, we might be having in-depth knowledge. So what I said, for understanding the problem, we have to discuss with the various sources of information. We have to consult with the literature. After doing all these things, definitely we would be able to understand the problem as far as possible, and then next phase of defining the problem starts, and this is phrasing the research problem. Here phrasing means you have to give a suitable title to your research project. You have to think, you have to draft that what should be concrete research topic. This is very important step because it decides all our forthcoming activities and steps. It guides our activities as the researcher. Here we have to be very specific and particular about the research problem. Actually, this is not, this is not like it will be sum up in one stroke. No, it is not like that. Rather, it is a sequential process comprising many such type of repeating activities, through which every time we have to be more specific about the research problem which we are going to undertake. More we would be specific to give terms to the research problem which would be viable from operational point of view or analytical point of view. That is important because this will decide what should be relevant data or information and what should be the viable sources of information and what should be analytical tools. Fine. So at end of the first step, we can sum up like defining the research problem has two steps. First step, understanding the research problem. Second step, phrasing the research problem. After defining the problem, we move to the next step, that is planning research design. Now, what is design? If we think about the design, definitely this pertains to the planning about something. Here we have to plan as the researcher what should be the furthermore activities or the steps for getting solution of the research problem what we have undertaken. So this is planning of our forthcoming activities related to the research project. In fact, this is framework or the roadmap of further activities. If we talk about the research design, then research design has to be changed according to purpose or nature of the research project. For example, on the basis of purpose, research might be categorized as exploratory research or descriptive research or diagnostic research or causal research. In exploratory research, we all know, we have discussed already, we have to define the problem. Here we are not concerned with the solution of the research problem, rather we want to understand and phrase it in the suitable terms. So for this purpose, we have to explore the new ideas or the facts or insights from every possible source. So here research design must be flexible. We have to explore every possible source from where the viable information might be gained. And next one, is the descriptive research. Here we have to describe the characteristics or the event or variables with which research is concerned. We have to establish relationship between one data group with another data group, one variable with another variable. So we have to adopt some tangible, not flexible, some pre-planned, well-defined approach. Here, from the researcher part, flexibility is not required, rather rigidity is required. We have to be rigid by the approach. We have to well-frame, well-designed. And when we talk about the well-designed, then definitely a few steps or the tools are there to define the research design, like data source, like research approach, like research instrument, like sampling, like contact method. We have to define all these things. If we talk about the data source, there might be primary data or secondary data. Primary data, we all know, fresh, collected by the researcher for his own purpose of the research, and secondary data consulted from the other sources. Those are related with the intended project. Research approach. If we talk about the research approach, here we are concerned with the quantitative or qualitative approach. Quantitative, here we deal with the data, with numerical variable. And in qualitative, we have to deal with the attributes, with the characters. Those cannot be connoted by digits. These all are informations. And when we talk about the qualitative research, then we have to think over that what should be the possible way to collect the information, whether it is the observation or it is focus group interview or it is survey or the experiment. These all are the viable method to collect primary data, and adopting the particular method definitely depends on many things, like a few important like as the nature of the research project or the sources or capacity of the researcher, etc. So after research approach, then we can talk about research instrument. There might be questionnaire, there might be schedule, there might be mechanical devices, there might be telephonic interview or personal interview. So there are the various possible instruments through which we can collect information or intended data. Then afterward, sampling. If we talk about the sampling, then three important decisions are important, like sampling unit, like sample size or sampling. Third one is sampling procedure. If we talk about the sampling unit, then here we have to decide who is to be surveyed, who is the potential source of information, whom we have to contact for the relevant information. And when we talk about the size of the sample, then here we are concerned how many people would be surveyed. We are concerned with the size of the sample. And sampling procedure, we all know that sampling procedure means what is the method of drawing units from the population to include in the sample. Population, it is exhaustive list of all the units or the elements related to any research field. It is not possible to contact all the units. So better we have to save our energy, save our resources, and take a representative fragment, representative part of the population as the sample. So contact method, again here we are concerned that how can we contact our respondent with what kind of tools in order to get the right information. When we will plan all these things, now it is the high time to execute our plan. Now move to third phase, that is data collection. We have to collect the intended information or data with the help of our pre-thought tools. We contact to the respondents, or if the research is experimental, then we have to conduct the experiment, and by surveying or experimenting we collect information, required information. After collection of data or information, then next data processing and analysis. Now, till now data is raw. We have to convert raw data into information by means of processing, by means of analysis. Processing, here we concerned with the processing like 4 distinct operations, starting with editing, coding, classification and tabulation. Through editing, we have to improve the quality of collected information. If there is any error or omission, then we have to remove. Through coding, we have to assign certain numerical values to collected informations for categorizing it. In classification, we have to put the particular kind of data into a particular group. Here we form the groups. After forming the group, we move to the next phase, that is tabulation. Here we form the table. Table is very important, as this is the means of condensing a mass data into the limited space, and it also helps to compare one data group with another data group, and that is important for inference and getting at conclusion that might be solution of the problem undertaken. So after processing, we have to move the analyzing. Analysis means we have to apply appropriate statistical or mathematical operation tools. There might be various statistical tools. For example, there might be central tendency like mean, mode, median, or coefficient or correlation regression. Likewise, what kind of mathematical operation or a statistical tool we have to apply, definitely depending on the nature of the problem or the other factors. If we established hypothesis, as we all know, hypothesis is assertion. It is possible relation between variables to get at conclusion. So we have to test the hypothesis on the basis of data and statistical tools to justify whether the particular hypothesis has to be accepted or rejected. Here again, we have to apply certain statistical indices for testing the hypothesis. After doing all these things, we move the last step, that is presentation of the findings. Till now, what we have done, it is in our mind or on the piece of paper. Now we have to systematize all our activities for the purpose of presenting it before the respondents or the target audience or the management or the organizations for which we have taken the project. Now here we have to form project report. Project report again is itself a separate chapter. We will discuss later on. Here I would like to sum up this project report by saying Project report is the systematic drafting of the research activities undertaken by the researcher, and it has to be, say, prepared very objectively, very systematically for the purpose of presentation before the audience. Thank you. Today is all for my lecture. In next class, we will look at another topic. For then, keep smiling, keep safe. Thank you very much.